Welcome, everybody. It's a pleasure to have you in the village of Port Edwards. In 1829, 190 years ago, the village was a settlement, a store, a blacksmith shop, a school, a rolling river lined with houses, and it thrived. 112 years ago, it was converted into a paper mill, the Port Edwards Paper Mill, with the support of the Alexander family. We prospered, the community, the families. In 2008, it shuttered 11 years ago. It was a stunning, sad day for the community. This is a time of optimism and excitement, and we're honored on behalf of my brother Tim from Nutritiva Global, Phil Scott with the Wisconsin Hemp Farmers and Manufacturers Association. We're so pleased to have Senator Teston with us today, the strongest legislative advocate for the Hemp Growers Act, Tim Voigt and Forrest Woolery, the farmers from Sweet Trees and their amazing 30,000 hemp plants that are hanging behind us. Today is the beginning of repurposing the Port Edwards Mill, and we are so excited that you're here to capture this moment. Hemp is going to thrive. We're surrounded by cranberry bogs and dairy farms and wonderful people. So with that said, this is the team. Every day is progress. And thank you for joining us for this great occasion. Senator Teston.
Well, this is a great opportunity. I'm pleased to be here. I've told many people that I believe hemp is Wisconsin's comeback crop, and today is evidence of that. We are in the midst of a new chapter right here in central Wisconsin, and hemp has proven to open new doors that were once closed, and this factory is a prime example of that. I couldn't be prouder to have authored the Farm Freedom Act, which brought hemp cultivation back to Wisconsin, and also the author of the Growing Opportunities Act, which is going to provide more confidence, more opportunities for our farmers, our processors, and our consumers here in the Badger State. Since hemp's been brought back to Wisconsin, I've had the opportunity to talk to many farmers throughout the area. The organic dairy farmer who's growing hemp indoors to supplement his income, a beekeeper who's growing a small amount of hemp for her bees, and then in this case, Tim and Todd, who started a very successful food processing company in cranberries, have now branched out into the hemp industry. So this is an exciting time for our state, and I firmly believe that Wisconsin is poised to be a national leader in this crop once again, and it's because of these individuals who are taking the risk, who are taking the chances to pave the way to have the Badger State lead once again in this great commodity. So I'm happy to introduce Philip Scott to talk about his work and his efforts in the hemp industry here in Wisconsin.
How's it going today, guys? I'm the president and founder of the Wisconsin Hemp Farmers and Manufacturers Association. We're a non-for-profit based on education and reform. We go out there every day, we get our hands dirty, and we're advocating to get the farmers to be successful, to work with the processors, and get both of those streams working with the manufacturers so we can create a true ecosystem of life. We're looking for a 30-year economic growth, not a 5-year pop. And with the people standing here today and all the other advocates and people around the state trying to move this industry forward, we're being very successful. With this bill being shuttered and that economic growth being lost to this community, bringing something like this in that can bring growing opportunities, it's endless. With what is going to be done with this, it'll be turned into some type of product that you may see on the shelf down the line right here in Wisconsin, which is awesome. At the end of the day, we all need to learn to work together so we can keep moving forward. It's on our state seal. We're all from Wisconsin. We're all driving economic growth in Wisconsin and creating those opportunities to bring everybody together as a whole. So thank you all for coming.
I'm happy to take any questions that you guys have. It's exciting. I mean, I never envisioned just how quickly this program would grow. I mean, initially when the bill passed and we were in year one of our program, we would have been excited if we had a couple dozen growers within our program. But the fact that within 2 years we went from 250 growers to over 1,500, to having 100 processors, to now having over 700, I mean, it's incredible. It's not every day that you get to work on legislation that opens up the door for an entire industry. But I can't take credit for that. It's these individuals that are around me who have really taken the chance, taken the risk, and it hasn't been easy these first couple of years. I mean, there's been a lot of growing pains. Mother Nature hasn't been the kindest, but that's why I think so great about this, is because our farmers, our processors, they are harnessing that entrepreneurial spirit and really taking us to the next level within this industry. And that's why I'm confident with the changes that we're hoping to incorporate with the Growing Opportunities Act, that we can build upon our successes, learn from our past mistakes, and ensure that we have more confidence moving forward from every step of the process, from the field to the processor, and then to our consumers.
I can answer that. I think, this is sort of a lifeline to a lot of those farms that are in financial need right now. But it's not without its own challenges, and we are the tip of the iceberg here, the tip of the spear. And, we have to go through all those hurdles, and it's not going to be accomplished without a group of people in the community that's working together to accomplish those goals. So, the short answer, yes.
Yeah, and I can say too, from feedback that we've gotten from a lot of farmers, I mean, obviously we all know that the farm economy, the ag economy is in a tough position right now. We're at a 5-year low. We've seen about 49% of our dairy farms go out of business in the last 15 years. It's been tough. And I think a lot of our farmers are out there are hungry for a new crop to incorporate in their portfolio that can hopefully up their margins and in some cases be the lifeline to that operation. We want to make sure that our small operations, our small family-owned farms don't become a thing of the past where we look back 50, 60 years from now and read about it in our history books. We want to make sure that we are growing this industry organically to ensure the viability for our small family farms for generations to come.
And I'll piggyback on what Senator Cheston and Tim shared. One thing that we all have in common, today we are in a health, wellness, and nutrition revolution. It's a part of society. And what's hanging behind us will turn into hemp seed oil, hemp protein powder, CBD oil, all of these things that are great for those that have pain, anxiety, inflammation. This is a good thing, and it is great for our farmers.
Can you talk a little bit about the process of this all? Like, how
I'll go into that one. So behind me here is about 30 acres hanging. The association itself, we've harvested 127 acres, give or take, to hang just like this outside of this operation. So this would come in on a truck, be laid out on tarps. We had plastic laid out all over so you didn't get any contaminants within the plant. We would bring them in, lay them out in strings, link them together, and then we'd use forklifts and scissors lift to raise them to the ceiling and then hook them in. It's a pretty fun operation. It's a lot of hard work. I always tell people, if you're going to get in the industry, you better be ready to get dirty and play hard. But to touch base on what everybody else is saying, is the adaptability of everybody in this state to come together and take one piece and modify it so they can shift into this industry and make dual revenue. The farmers, from being able to never growing it, I have guys that have grown this stuff for 10 or 12 years out west, that our farmers in their first year grew 3 times the amount of product. It's pretty impressive.
Right now you have a farmer supplying the plants that are hanging. What do you see in this operation in the future? Growing on site, growing plus accepting crops from other farmers? What does the operation turn into as you grow?
Good question, Larry. So Tim and I reached out on October 8th to DMI Acquisitions, the owners of the Port Edwards Mill. And Joseph Moore and Domingo Weaver have been very, very helpful to get us to where we are today and to get Tim's crop under this dry roof. So that was the number one focus. Secondly, with the support of Senator Teston and other strong advocates of the hemp industry, we see tremendous opportunity to continue to explore uses of this wonderful facility. We start with hang drying hemp. In 2020, it's still to be seen what we can do with this amazing property. We have a vision. We're going to be continuing to be innovators, Larry. That's a for sure. And with innovation, we'll drive incremental opportunity for community. To be determined, but it's all moving in the right direction, very strategically.
And then as far as the processing, I understand that you're looking at not just the seed, not just the CBD oil, but to use as much of the plant as you can.
So here's what you see. You see leaves and buds hanging from binder. A tremendous opportunity is that stem. It's the fiber. That fiber will be used for industrial purposes. So the Home Depots, the Menards, the Lowe's, you will see many industrial products in the form of plastics and other composites that hemp will drive the fiber side of the business. That's the future. In addition to functional foods and other medicinal benefits, the fiber will be a growing piece of business. The stem, the stalk.
Those are markets that still need to be developed.
Those will be markets that will be developed. Much R&D is taking place as we speak across corporate America to develop innovation specific to the fiber for industrial purposes.
So when it's time to strip these leaves down, what do you do with it then?
One more time, Larry.
When it's time to strip these stems down, get the biomass, what's that next step? What are you going to do with that biomass in the next part of the process?
So we're very fortunate in Wisconsin when you look at the way we've had the laws and things set up for the processing, the capabilities to go through the roof. So when we look at that, I preach to our farmers, let's grow it here, let's process it here, and then let's sell that crude to the market so we keep that economic and those tax dollars in our communities. Don't just grow it and send the biomass off. Grow it, get it to our processors, allow a true economic growth for these two people to work together and move that product to market. Most of the products here will be turned into CBD crude, and then that product can be turned into up to 12,000 other type of end products to put on a shelf. Between lotions, creams, the CBD oils, I'm even seeing CBD shampoo. You can infuse it in water. It's endless. And all of that will be turned into crude, which I call sweet gold, and then hopefully move to market to make products that maybe some all day will all be touching and using.
Larry, right down the street in Nakusa, Wisconsin, just 5 miles up the road, for 20 years, Tim and I have been operating Nutritiva Global. It's a healthy, clean, smart, wholesome ingredient manufacturer. Ocean Spray makes cranberry juice. We utilize their byproduct, the seed. We press that little tiny seed, we get cranberry seed oil. We have a patent on cranberry protein powder. We're doing exactly the same with hemp. Hemp oil, hemp protein powder. Functional ingredients for food, beverage, nutraceutical supplements, skincare, and even pet nutrition. Pets are part of the family, and that's the future.
One last question I would have is, what does it mean to have this space available? Like, if you weren't able to use this space to dry all of this hemp, where would you go?
Amanda, great question. So Tim, we were so pleased when Phil from the Wisconsin Hemp Farmers Manufacturers Association made the introduction, and with Senator Teston's support. Without this facility, Tim, you'd be in a tough spot.
We were in a tough spot. Yeah, they definitely came out of left field and gave us a helping hand. Without these guys here, we would not have been able to have a successful harvest. So a lot of thanks goes to these guys.
I think the time from the time the call came in to getting the building and Hemp first delivery was 48 hours.
Yeah, it was very fast.
It's impressive, and I'm really excited to see what they do moving forward because this is such a great location. You've got the potential to maybe do indoor grows in the future. We're in the central part of the state. You've got rail connectivity. You've got hydropower. So, I mean, in essence, you could almost see this as being a hemp mecca right here in central Wisconsin.
Give us the rough numbers. How many square feet are you using now? What's available to expand into in this building?
Larry, we've got about 411,000 square feet in the facility. We're utilizing about 50,000 square feet of that to start. We've got to start somewhere. We signed a short-term lease with opportunities to work with DMI to grow the facility into other areas of industrial use in 2020, and that's the objective. So we're out of the gates, we help the farmer, we're moving forward, and we've got a vision.
One vision that I see in the near future in this area, with the rail yard we have the capability, major decortication, so we're able to move this fiber into a workable source so we can move it to market.
That's right. And today you see a lot of plants hanging. In the years to come, it'll be mechanical drying, and we're working towards that effort right now in getting mechanical drying systems put in place.
What are you doing to incent outside capital improvements here from third parties?
So the association itself, with our network, we've put out the call to most of our members, and we've talked to people that are in corporate America within Wisconsin, and we're starting to gain that traction and get that interest to be able to bring that economic dollars that are going to drive a project here, have it full circle from Wisconsin, and that interest is starting to pick up heavily. And hopefully, as we all keep moving forward, we can maybe uncover some educational grants and things like that to help move these projects
So
forward.
you're basically looking at internal to the hemp industry to fund all this.
So on October 2nd, we were at the state capitol. And we shared our personal testimony, Tim and I did. We had that opportunity to interface with Senator Teston, the leading advocate of hemp, Senator Taylor, Representative Kurtz, Representative Considine. Pillars that are helping to support. Without their support in education, in legislation, and industry coming together, we're looking in one form or another, whether it's through grants or commercial capitalization, we're going to figure out a way that community benefits. So we're on a mission. We're on a mission to make that happen. And thank you, Senator.
Thank you.
When you talk about the economic benefits of the final product, you mentioned building communities. About how many employees does it take to run an operation this size?
Yeah, so an operation this size, we had on average about 20 to 30 employees in here for, I would say, the better of 2 to 3 weeks or so. Throughout our whole season, we've employed those people on and off during our busy seasons for probably 3 to 4 months of solid full-time and then part-time in between there. So it takes a whole crew and a lot of labor to get this accomplished. And on the farmer side of things, a lot of the problem right now is the lack of infrastructure and big infrastructure to do large-scale operations, which is where these guys come into play. And with 400,000 square feet, they have room to expand and to help out a lot of farms, not only us. So just once again, thank you guys.
I want to talk about labor, if I could, for a moment. 11 years ago, when this shuttered, and 500 families in the Nakusa, Port Edwards, Wisconsin Rapids community lost jobs. That's labor. When Tim and I were walking through the halls of the place that our father worked in for 40 years, that's memories. This had a tremendous negative impact on community. We're looking to rebuild. it's the labor that we hope to help grow and support and develop this opportunity.
To go on with your question, Senator Testy, could you talk a little bit about the worker shortage that we're in right now and the opportunity that now people may be able to be employed through this industry?
Yeah, I mean, there's tremendous potential there. Obviously, we know we've been very blessed and fortunate to have a strong economy here in the state for the last several years, and unfortunately, one of the biggest problems that we have right now is that we just don't have enough people to fill the jobs that are available. But this is an opportunity to attract entrepreneurs from outside of this state, because I do believe we are in a strong position, especially within this industry, to pave the way and lead the way nationwide. So I see a tremendous upside to it.